Hi, this is Debbie from Color Everywhere, and today I want to show you a project that was taught to me by my 12-year-old granddaughter, who is my crafting buddy. She stays with me half the week every summer while school is out, and almost every day the first thing we do is go down to the craft area and work on some projects. Well, this year we've made her own corner, so she has her own area, and it's a pretty nice size, and she can work on her projects there. So that's what we've been doing. And the other day she said, Grammy, she calls me Grammy, she said, Grammy, I want to show you something. Look at this little pocket that I made. So I looked at it and got pretty excited because I really liked it. So I sat down and made a bunch of pockets and decorated them, and I just thought I would show them to you today. Right here I'm showing how you can do different types with the same process, but just change the flap and it makes a different type of pocket. Sometimes you can make it with two pockets in one, or you can make it where the flap folds down in the front and shows the design, and that gives you one pocket. Or you can flip the little flap to the inside and make two pockets. So it's pretty fun to do. These are made with a 6x6 piece of paper from a paper pad. And this is how you fold it. So you fold it from corner to corner. Then I found that if you measure down 2.5 inches from the top point, that gives you a good place to fold to make a nice size little pocket. So that's what I'm doing here. For a 6-inch square piece of paper, you mark down 2.5 inches from the top corner. And you just fold the point over to that corner, or I'm sorry, over to that mark, and score your paper there, and then you fold the other point to the opposite corner, and you want that to be even with the one previously folded, and then you fold the little flap down. Now that's the procedure that makes one pocket, a single pocket. Now you could, once it's all put together and glued together, you could do any kind of distressing or whatever you want to do then, but I like to do it before it's glued together. I just think it's a lot easier to do that way. So if you were going to just have a single pocket, you would glue, all you have to glue is right there under the flap, and that will hold it together. You could even fold the back flap down, and that would give you a little basket looking pocket. Or you can turn it to the back where you can see more of the design and use that as the front. So you can use it either way. You can use the folded side as the front, or you could use the solid side as the front. You can leave the flaps up, you can put the flaps down, and either way you do it, it comes out pretty cute. Now right there, where I've got my finger, is where the front pocket would be if you wanted to make a two-section pocket. You just take the flap, and instead of folding it to the front, you fold it down inside of that first one. Then you still have the back pocket section, and then you also have the front pocket section. I just think they're so cute, and they're so fun to make and so quick and easy, and it uses up paper pads that you might have sitting around, and they're just real cute. She was pretty pleased that she showed me something that I didn't know how to do, which is pretty unusual. When you get as old as I am, you see a lot of things. You don't always remember all of them, but you do see them. So see, that's how the flap just folds down inside that front. pocket area. Now it will show, you can see there, you can just see a slight bit of where you folded it down. So I try to make sure I distress that also. And the only thing that's really glued is at the top edge, as you saw me stick my finger up in there to show you it was loose. So again, there's one with 2 pockets, and then the other one has 1 pocket. Now if you wanted to put your the dog's growling at me. If you wanted to put your flap down in the first one so that it didn't show, but you still only wanted 1 pocket, all you would need to do is just put some glue in that first area to shut it, to hold it shut, and then you'd still have 1 pocket. So I'm going to start at the beginning and show how one is made. I know I just folded one up, but sometimes it helps to see it from the beginning. It's a little tricky at first to figure out what's going to show once it's folded. And this is a paper pad from Seven Gypsies. I know I've had it for quite some time, so I don't know if it's still available or not. It was on clearance when I bought it, and that was a while back. So I kind of doubt that they still sell that. But any paper pack would work. Especially I think something that you kind of like the colors, but you don't like the design. Some of it's hidden, so you wouldn't see it, so you wouldn't have to worry about the design that you didn't care for a lot. Now I'm kind of looking at this thinking, okay, I'm going to have this flap that sticks up. What's going to show? So whatever's on the corner, that's what's going to show, depending on which way you fold it. So I'm just laying my hand across there to say, okay, this is what I'll see if I do this corner or this corner or this corner. And I decided that I like the one with the little stamp looking image. Or you can fold it the other way, but I didn't want to do that. So I decided to fold it like this. Now and then I'm trying again to see, okay, now how do I want this to go? And I decided that way was probably going to be the best way that would show the most of what I wanted to see. So I'm measuring 2.5 inches from the top corner. I'm just going to put a tick mark there so I'll know where it is. I'm still trying to decide which way I want it to fold. You need to make sure things are fairly straight, because if they aren't, when you fold the second one over, it's not gonna match. I'm putting my fingernail at the bottom corner there just to give it a good place to fold, and what I'm really doing is making sure that the point reaches to the opposite corner before I use my bone folder and smooth it down. So this is the way it's going to go. So I wanted to see that little stamp looking piece on there, and I like the little red tag that you could see. So when you fold the flap down, I just kind of pull it pretty snug, because you want it to be as closely folded as you can to the bottom pieces, to the flaps. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up, and I ink that little bottom piece in the middle first, because that's going to show. And I'm kind of going for inking it up so that dark enough so that it'll have a nice contrast. So there's that little piece that needs to be done. Then I flip it over, and these two folds are what will be going to the front again. I've just got it laid out, and I'm looking at the back of the pocket actually. So I go on the edges, and again I'm looking for contrast because I want that little folds to show up because they look cute folded up like that. And if you don't put some contrast on there, then they just don't show up very much. So at least that's how I like it. And I'm using Distress ink. I'm not sure. It might be. I think it's the vintage paper or old paper, photo paper, whatever it's called. Any color would work that you would want to use. So then I just keep folding it up and looking at it until I'm happy with the way it looks. That looks pretty good. Need a little bit more there. So now I still have my flaps. See how different that looks? That flap's so light it just doesn't look right. So I'm going to distress the edges of that, and also the edge where I was just pointing to that goes across the pocket. And then I'll also do the back flap that sticks up. Now I'm pointing out, you can see where a little bit of the flap, the front flap, when it's folded to the inside, it shows. So if you don't ink it up to match, it just looks really odd because you just see a real light line through there. So you want it to be at least as dark as the front edge there, the front of the pocket. And then I just do around the where the back flap sticks up, and just a little bit into the middle of it. It just looks better that way. It's not like a stark light color against the dark inking. It's really, the back of this paper is very pretty. It's a very pretty little print. So then I just glue two places really. Just the first flap along the top edge there under the front flap. I guess I should say the left flap, and then I glue the right flap over top of that, and I just try to make sure that they're real even along the top edge, because that's where the front flap's going to come down. Now it's a good idea to let this dry a little bit. You can see I'm kind of fiddling with it because it's not all the way dry, but it doesn't take very long. Right now I'm just using Fabri-Tac glue. You could use Eileen's or whatever you like to use. And you just push it down in the front pocket. Make sure everything's folded nice and neat, and there you go. There it is. Now it's actually cute enough just to use it like that, I think. But I was really happy with the way they came out after I decorated them, which I'm going to go ahead and show. Now those are made from the same paper, just folded a different corner, folded different from corner to corner. And then here's the same paper, only folded with the pictures on the inside and the print on the outside. I thought they would be cute with some lacy pieces on them, and I had Olivia look in the drawers and see if she could find the doilies. I'm still in the process of getting things situated in my new craft space. So she found the doilies and started pulling them out for me. And she pulled this red one, red heart out, and I thought, oh yeah, I want that. So I'm going to glue it on the front, and I want the fold to go down inside of the pocket, the front pocket. For some reason I couldn't get it straight. I kept folding it and folding it, and finally I said, well, this is silly, because it didn't look straight every time I folded it. So finally I got the ruler out and just laid it across. Since it's the same on both sides, I laid it across the patterns evenly and folded it up that way. Didn't really matter if the inside part is not even, so I wasn't worried about that, but I wanted the front to look even. And then I just snipped off the corners because of the way the pocket is shaped. The inside of the flap needed to be shaped also. So I'm going to put it on the front pocket so you can still access both pockets. And all it really needs is just a little bit of glue for the inside, just enough to hold it in there. So I didn't worry about gluing all the little doily parts. And then I just centered it, which is a little confusing at first because you have lines going in odd ways. So you really have to just center it along the top edge, is what I ended up doing. I put a little bit more glue on the front so that it would stay in place and not get too jumped up. I think that is so cute. Again, it's cute just like this, but I'm going to add more to it in a bit. And I still had the two pieces of the heart left over, and I thought, well, these ought to work because they're round. I thought they might work nicely. So basically I did the same thing. I think this time I found one that only had one pocket maybe. Let's see what I do. Now that one's made, but it's not distressed yet, so. And as usual, I've left my glue laying up there and it's probably got a big drip on it. Sometimes these doilies, they don't punch out all the way, and sometimes you can take your finger and flick them real hard and they'll come out, or if you just take a tool over the back of them real gently and just scrape it a little bit, they'll come out, which is what I was doing there. Now I'm just looking to see how it should lay. And again, you don't need that much glue on the inside part. Oh, I guess I did find another one that had two pockets. Well, see, that's the one that's not even finished, so I don't know why I was picking it up. I kept picking it up. Oh, that one just has one pocket. So I just think it's great that such a simple little origami fold can make such a cute little item that you can use. I asked Olivia, I said, did you have any more things like this that you know how to do you could show your grandmother? She goes, I don't think so, Grammy. I gave her a junk journal that I'd started working on so that she could use it. She's been working in it. Pretty proud of herself. Even when she was very young, she always wanted to be able to do whatever it was I was doing. And of course, she didn't always have the motor skills to do that. Yes, Bella, I see you. She didn't have the motor skills to do that. But now she's older and she's doing a lot more things. Now here's a square doily. Stop, please. Stop. Here's a square doily. That's really pretty. So I thought, well, I'm going to use the corner. I should be able to use the corner for that. So I was just sort of getting an idea of how big it needed to be, where I needed to cut. One of those big doilies, you could do a lot with one of them. A lot of different things. I thought, oh no, I'm not doing this again, so I got the ruler out first thing so I could fold it. They're pretty delicate, but not too bad. Somewhere I have a lot of lace and trims, and I don't know what I've done with them. They're in my sewing area somewhere, and I've put them in a box or a tin or something. I have a huge roll of tatted trim. It's real pretty. And then some other laces and all. And I just don't know where they are. I know I have some little flowers that are just little pieces that would look really cute on here. So sooner or later I'm going to get down there and find those. So I wanted these to not look too stark light, even though they're off-white. I thought, well, I better distress them a little bit. I didn't want to get too carried away, but I did want them to blend in some. Somehow or other, I got some reddish ink on there. I don't know where that came from. It's a brand new sponge, and I've only used it, I thought, with this color. I just love these. I think they're so cute. I made a bunch, but I used red on a lot of them, so they won't go with what I'm working on right now. So I need to make a few more. So that tag's very big. I don't know why I kept grabbing that tag, but it could go in there. It still would go, but it is really kind of big for it. But I thought of using them for the small tags, because in my journals I like to put a lot of smaller tags that can be used as bookmarks that the people that I give the journals to can, share with someone else. So a lot of times I'll just do a bunch of little bookmark type tags and put in there with ribbons or whatever, and these pockets are perfect for that. So then I decided I was going to put a piece up on the top flap. So I cut another corner and trimmed it to fit and glued it on the top. And that looks like a double pocket one also. Look how cute that is. So I'll distress it a little bit to blend it with the paper. And I think I have one more to show you. Then we're going to put a couple little embellishments on the pockets. No, I guess I show that later. So I have all these little pieces came from a large 12 by 12 sheet, and one side of the sheet had just all these little pictures. So I cut them out with the scissors that I used to cut around, do my little stamps with, and cut them apart. So I've inked them up a little bit, and then this other piece is a piece of heavy canvas. A long time ago, a lady gave me a bunch of stuff. One thing was heavy canvas, and it's leftover pieces from a factory she worked at that they would let the employees take home. And she gave me the canvas, and I have so much of it, but it's not big pieces. It's like maybe a foot wide and 3 feet long or something like that, if that wide. So I've been using it lately in my craft stuff, and I stamped a bunch of them. You can see that little butterfly there in the bottom left corner. But I just wanted a plain piece to go behind these, so I turned one of them over that didn't stamp that great. I just cut it in half and turned it over, and then I'm fraying the edge so it looks a little bit more textured. And I thought it would look cute with that, and then just a little picture on top of it. So I did 2 of those. I just love these little pictures. I think I have at least one more sheet of them, but I'm not positive. I still have a little stack of them that are already cut, but I hope I have another sheet of them somewhere because I use them a lot. They're just small and nice to use in different things. So I have a piece of corrugated cardboard that already has a little bit of what do you call it, gesso on it, and it's from an Amazon box, and these little pieces were sticking out, so I decided that needed pulled off of the back. The cardboard was actually pretty easy to split. It was not difficult at all, so I just did I don't know, maybe a 8 by 10 piece and cut it up to use. This is one of those pieces. Which way do we go? Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Just a little piece of stuff, but it makes a big difference. Gives it texture and a little bit of different color. A platform to put something else on. Uneven edges to contrast with the straight edges of the folds. So now I decided I wanted to use the center of the square doily. I thought that might be pretty. It's got that little dotted edge around it, so it kind of looks like fabric that's been stitched or something. Even that little strip there that I'm getting ready to cut off, it could be used on something as an embellishment. Especially these little packets, it would be cute on there. So I want this to act as the flap to come down over the cardboard. So I just cut it off and now I'm trimming it and gluing it in, just like I did before. This piece is just more solid. Now on this one, I think it's only one pocket that's been glued shut. So the front pocket's been glued shut, so it's just one pocket in the back. When I first started making them, I didn't think about being able to have two pockets. So a couple of them I glued shut. And after about the third one, it dawned on me, oh, this could be two pockets. I think that looks pretty cute. It always amazes me what you can do with a little piece of paper. Well, there's my big jar of white buttons and a smaller jar of brown ones. I have all my buttons in jars like this because I do a lot of sewing and different things, and I used to make dolls and things like that. You always need buttons, so every chance I'd get, I'd take whatever button somebody would give me and stick in there. So I have a fairly nice supply. Most of them will fit, each color will fit in one of the smaller jar, the pint jar. Now I'm going to use some black crochet thread and just put it through the button like it's been sewn and just tie a little bow on it, on this one. It's a little fiddly. For some reason that day I was dropping everything I did, so it doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised the button didn't fly across the room somewhere. I like my fingernails. I like having them done. It's much better for my real fingernails because they're just like paper and split and everything. With these, I don't have to worry about my nails breaking or being sore. They last really well. If I get paint on them, I just scrub it off, and I really like them. The only thing is, sometimes it's hard to do little fiddly stuff like that. Your nails get in the way. But I still like them, so I put up with it. Try not to wear them too long. This is about as long as I like them. So anyway, I glued that on, and I'm putting a little bit of glue right in the middle so that the bow won't come undone. I think that's very nice little pocket. Just as cute as it could be. So here's a pile of the ones I did. Put buttons and what have you. And then here's a journal that I'm working on. I just thought I'd show you how I'm using some of them already. Here's a little partial page that I stuck it on. There's some little, this journal isn't done yet, so the cards aren't done. I mean the tags aren't done, but they fit really cute in there. I like it. And then I put another one. This is a I actually put the glue in the wrong place, so I had to put something under it to keep it from sticking. But this was just a little tuck spot, and it just needed something, I thought. There's an envelope. That's an envelope behind it there. It's been stained, but it hasn't been decorated yet. So I just glued I put the back flap down, and I glued the pocket on the corner of the tuck spot. And there's just this little journaling booklet that'll go down inside. So I can still use the tuck spot, plus there's a pocket. Turned out real cute. And that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope you make some. Like I said, they're very fun. Please subscribe and hit the notification. Thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.